Hi, it's Ken here. Welcome along to Get English Tips number 6. Thanks so much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying this Get English Tips. Get this 101 English Tips series. And I hope that you're finding some things that are going to help you when you are learning English or any language indeed. You know, sometimes it's not what you learn, but it's how you learn that becomes really, really important. So all of these Get English tips are, I guess, built up from my own experience of learning languages and traveling the world, and also from the many thousands of students I have taught, in classrooms all around the world, and also online also. So some things you'll know, and some things that you won't know, I guess, and some things you'll agree with and not. There's not one size fits all for learning anything. It's all about individual and what suits you best. So this Get English Tips number 6 is, I guess, with English. When I was learning Spanish, the first thing I noticed, and it was really when I was starting to become interested in languages, was the different structures. And for example, a really kind of obvious one would be a lot of languages, they will use the noun plus adjective, whereas in English, we will use the adjective plus noun. This kind of thing. In Thai language, there's not really articles as such. So in different languages, there are different grammar structures. And one thing I always try and tell my students is, don't try and translate word for word to your own language. You're only going to confuse yourself. It's really important, I feel, learning languages, not to learn in words, but rather to learn in sentences or in expressions. And this way, you're going to think a lot quicker. In my experience, you're going to think a lot quicker and you're going to learn a lot more. I guess translating everything into your native language, it's not something that I would recommend to do all the time. So if you're kind of doing it all the time and picking it out, stop. The simple reason is, why should you do this? As I mentioned, a lot of languages are going to have their own structures, different structures to English. So you're going to be putting the words into the wrong order. And as I mentioned about the adjective and noun in English, whereas in most other languages it would be noun plus adjective. Even I'm learning the Scottish Gaelic language at the moment, and it's different to English for that, in that situation where it becomes noun plus adjective when we are speaking, and not adjective plus noun in English. So I guess the reason for not translating word for word is you're going to end up picking up bad habits, and it's very important, I feel, and more beneficial to be learning in sentences and expressions. So get into the habit of finding out the correct structure and make up sentences using the structure. Think of sentences, as I mentioned, rather than individual words. Use different adjectives and nouns in the sentences and repeat them. And this will build up some great habits for you when you're learning English. Again, and I'll say it for the third time, it's really more beneficial, I feel, to be learning in sentences and expressions rather than individual vocabulary. I mean, so when I was teaching in Thailand, some of my students would come to me with the bad habit of directly translating, English into Thai, and they would tell me that they have to think, okay, this is English, and then translate it all backwards, and it can be quite time consuming, and you can get into bad habits with it. So it's always really important, I feel, to learn in expressions and sentences. I tell them, I tell them the correct structure, and then go away and start using words and vocabulary and sentences with that structure. It's very difficult for some of them, but the ones that try and practice this technique see a huge improvement very, very quickly. So as I mentioned, practice in expressions. Just repeat over and over certain expressions using, as an example, the adjective plus noun. You know, put 2 adjectives plus noun, 3 adjectives plus noun, and that way make sentences and expressions with that. And that way it will become a lot easier for you. So this English tip number 6 is don't try and translate word for word. Learn in expressions. Much better, much easier. So hopefully that's quite helpful for you. It'll get you into some good habits when you are learning and practicing. If you've got some experience of this, let me know below in the comments, which would be fantastic. And if you've not already done so, you can create your free account with getenglishtips.com, and in there you can get access to the video tips. You can get access to tests and quizzes, downloads and resources, and obviously the community also. You can be part of the English Learners community, find someone to practice with. Get English Tips is obviously free, so please tell all your friends, your family, anyone who's learning English to come along and subscribe free, and they'll get all these English tips every couple of days directly to their inbox. Motivation to their inbox. And obviously, with this being free, if you feel like doing it and you can afford it, you can buy me a cup of coffee. This is my morning fuel for working every day. It'd be much appreciated. I'd love it. So hopefully you're finding this series useful. And as I said, if you're a member, join the community. Start finding other learners also. It's totally free. So that's English Tips number 6. I shall see you in English Tips number 7 coming up very, very soon. If you've got any questions, please let me know. My name's Ken. Bye for now.